Hello and welcome to the last 10 laps of this Netherlands Grand Prix for Pacific Series T3 Season 5 here at Race Spec. I thought I'd give a little bit of excitement heading into these last 10 laps here. My name is Eltonkie and I'll be your fill-in very last minute commentator for this last section of this Grand Prix. So if you are just joining us, here is a race update. We've had now 2 safety cars, so we will be following on from the resumption of racing after the second safety car has ended. We've had 4 races currently out of the session, so F1 Boy was first to retire, that was followed by Eltonkie, myself, Josh Sanburn, and then Hold Up Man Dan has also retired. So the state of play is as follows. CN Goat in position 1. Albino Josh here in position 2. Lunacy, who's pit on fresh softs, sitting there in position 3. So you could say that he has the most ideal strategy here, but it will be interesting to see how Albino Josh and CN Goat is able to hold him up over the remaining 9 laps or so here. Then in 4th place we have CN Goat's Ferrari teammate Delayed, who's done quite well to get himself up to P4 and is on a relatively good tyre heading into this final stretch here. We then have in 5th position James Cruz, 6th Honest Crook, 7th is our man Deputy Dilldog, 8th there is Combat Wombat, 9th is Pyramids, but he does have a penalty, so a 3-second penalty there, so one for track extensions or for corner cutting, so he will need to make up some places over the remainder of this race in order to not drop back too far. Then Junkyard Doggy rounds out our top 10. After that we have Power Sight in P11, Anther in P12, Snickers Bud there in P13, Gold Gloves P14, Teabag Your Mum P15, and just out of the points here, Bill's Battlers. So we do have a multi here, provided kindly by Bill's Battlers. Let me just pull that one up. Alrighty, so the multi for tonight's race is as follows. So we are predicting a Delayed top 6. Well, seeing as he's there in P4 at the moment, that is one that we can hope that will be checked off. Combat Wombat top 10, and he is currently there in 8th. And the reason for this multi is that they had very strong Sunday form, and the prediction from Bill's Battlers is that this Sunday form will be brought to Tuesday. The second part of the multi is that we will have over 2.5 safety cars. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is the second safety car, so we'll need one more safety car in order to check one off there, but I'm sure I will be corrected in chat in due course. To see if he's actually the third safety car. I did have to step away after my retirement for a little bit. Now, with the third part of the multi, it's that the Alpine Toilers will secure a double points finish. So the way the Alpine drivers are positioned at the moment is in 15th and they're in 16th. Or 14th. Oh, Gold Gloves has gone round. So 14th and 15th, which means that now Teabag Your Mum and Bill's Battlers, the Alpine Toilers, are in fact in the points now. So we currently do have a double points finish because Gold Gloves has swung out. And in all that chaos reading the multi, I've completely forgotten to get back to the race. And we have CN Goat currently in P1, currently holding up to Lunacy, who is on those fresh softs and up against those 16-lap-old hards. You'd expect Lunacy to really fly past CN Goat and then extend his advantage all the way through to the end of the race. Now, Lunacy truly has had the pace. So starting pole position, he had the pace on everyone else, and it's been unfortunate for him that there have been safety cars because he's been pulling out massive gaps and only brought back because of the safety car. And heading down onto this, I'm not sure if you'd call it a back straight, but a straight nonetheless, Lunacy makes the move there, simply on fresher tyres to get that move done. It now pushes CN Goat back into position 2 and into the clutches of his Ferrari teammate Delayed. Now, don't expect any team orders here. These boys will be fighting it out. They certainly will not be attempting to hold position. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Look at that view. Was that a bit of impact that I saw? No, that was just Slicker's Bud heading into the pitters. Safety car! No way! Alright, so there we go. This makes things very, very interesting. Who will pit for fresh softs to the end? I don't think too many people will, because by the time this safety car comes back through, I think there might only be about 3 or 4 laps left to go, and if you're losing track position here at Zandvoort, then that is going to be horrible to try to make up those positions, no matter how fresh your tyres are. So, Telunacy has pulled off a masterstroke here by pitting for those softs. He's got himself back to the front, and now when this safety car restart happens, he's going to be able just to absolutely blitz this field. Expect to see him win by over 5 seconds. Now, he's not really going to have much of a threat behind, because CN Goat, simply put, and I mean no disrespect, isn't quite as quick as Telunacy, and the fact that he does have those 17-lap-old hards means that he's simply not going to be able to put up a fight there with Telunacy. Again, we'll be interested to see what happens there with Delayed Laid, whether or not he tries to fight for that second position, for that second step on the podium, or whether he's able to hold position, maybe do the team a little bit of a favour and try to hold up the likes of Albino Josh and James Cruz and Honest Crook, who we all know have quite exceptional pace week in, week out. Deputy Dill Dog, Pyramids, Junkyard Doggy, Combat Wombat, in fact, all of them I can throw into that combination of having decent pace. In fact, even down to Anthro. I mean, Anthro is the championship leader at the moment, so it'll be quite exciting. Might get about a 3 or a 4 lap sprint here as the Aston Martin safety car picks up Telunacy in the Aston Martin Formula 1 car. Safety car is in this lap. So that means we will have, believe it or not, a 5-lap sprint to the finish. Here we go, boys. Here we go. On board here with... Let's sit on board here with CN Goat. Let's see if Telunacy is able to catch him napping. Holding up that restart because he doesn't want to give CN Goat too much of a slipstream, but then he's off. He's off, and just look at the power in those fresh softs. Even with using full battery, CN Goat simply isn't able to keep up. On board now with Delayed Laid. CN Goat hasn't been completely caught by Delayed Laid despite those tyres. Now, I'm not too sure whether a 19-lap-old hard or a 13-lap-old mediums would actually be quicker, but... Who's that? Someone's around, aren't they? We'll get back to the action at the back soon. Look at that, that's James... No, Honest Crook and James Cruz. They must have had a little bit of a tangle. I'll say Honest Crook has definitely taken a tangle because you don't expect him to drop places, especially after a safety car restart. Again, one of the faster drivers here. Now, in more important matters, we did have that multi that the 2 Alpine drivers would be, in fact, points finishers, but... Can't believe what's happened. T-Bagumam has dropped out of the points at this stage, and he does have that penalty, so he's going to need to... No way! Another safety car. Boys, let's go. What is going on? Alright. The multi's well and truly done. We know that much. We absolutely know that much. Another safety car? I wonder for what, though? Who's been dropping? As we get Honest Crook into the pit. So I'd say that he took a little bit of damage, or maybe a lot of damage. Requiring him to pit. So he's going to slap on those softs and see what he can do over the course of what is what started as a 36 lap race became a 5 lap race is now going to look like a 2 lap race once this safety car heads back in, likely on at the end of the 34th lap. So Teabag, your mum, very wisely serving his penalty there. Again, trying to get in for the points. Trying to get that Alpine double for the multi. So if you are just joining us, the multi is that the Adelaide would finish in the top 6. That Combat Wombat will finish in the top 10. That we would have over 2.5 safety cars, so that's guaranteed we can tick that one off. And that both Alpine drivers would finish in the points. Now, the points does end at 15th spot, so Teabag, your mum, would simply have to get himself off last place. In terms of what's happening here at the front, we've got... what's that? Yeah, that's right. So Tulunacy there, again, on those fresh softs from the front. Just like I've said, expect him to run away with it purely on pace and also on strategy. The colour of the tyres slapped to his car is going to be a little bit quicker than 20 lap old hards on Seeing Goat. He's done quite well to get those tyres to this stage of the race. Again, they will be struggling, but delayed behind on 15 lap old mediums and Albino Josh behind him on 21 lap old mediums. Mate, even throw Deputy Dilldog in there on 17 lap old mediums are going to be particularly slow as well. Now, of course, there have been 2 safety car periods, which is going to help the wear on these tyres, but nonetheless, certainly not the grip that the likes of Tulunacy, Pyramids, Junkyard Doggy will have. So in terms of the championship, Anther is leading the championship. We have Hold Up Mandan in second position, and the fact that he has DNF today is going to be huge because it means that all those behind are going to be able to catch up. And the same applies, I guess, for myself too. Sitting in third position after round 3, my DNF isn't particularly handy, but hey, it is what it is. So expect the likes of myself and Hold Up Mandan to drop from second and third down to, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th, even down to 7th. Now, safety car is in this lap, so it means that we are going to have a 2-lap sprint. Tulunacy will lead them off. Seeing Goat will be doing his absolute best to try to hang on that second position, and Delayed. If the Ferrari boys can get another double podium in the space of 3 days, that would be absolutely unbelievable for them. And I'm sure they will be taking photos and selfies for days, hanging them up on their wall and staring at them when they go to bed at night. So, Tulunacy is off. Seeing Goat follows closer, but Delayed has got an absolute ripper of a follow through there, and he does overtake. Are there any team orders there? No, Albino Josh is the same as well. What's happening with the podium here then? Delayed has completely outbroken himself as Deputy Dilldog all the way from 5th on those 18 lap old mediums, pushes himself up. No, this is just all going absolutely horribly wrong for the Ferrari boys. Lele has dropped down into 15th place after outbreaking himself and heading into the gravel. And now Seeing Goat, all he had to do was hang on for 2 laps and he's dropped from 2nd and he's into the clutches of Junkyard Doggy behind. And expect him to have the pace, but, and I say but many times because overtaking here is a challenge. So we'll keep an eye to see if Junkyard Doggy is able to overtake Seeing Goat cleanly using those tyres. As more battles up ahead. On board now with Albino Josh in Pyramids. Albino Josh heading... Oh! Bit of a bump there from Pyramids, so it'll be interesting to see what that was like from a fair racing point of view. There's a more yellow flag, Sector 2 and Sector 3. Again, still on board here with Seeing Goat. As Tulunacy just gives a big thank you, taking the fastest lap of the race so far, and you can't really expect anyone to be beating that. So there's so many position changes I can't keep up. As Gold Gloves, just with those soft tyres, goes around the outside Fernando Alonso style. And James Cruz simply isn't able to fight back. So not looking good for Merck when it comes to the Constructors' standings after this race here at Netherlands at round 4 of the Pacific Series Tier 3. Alright, can you believe it's already the last lap of the race? So, to Lunacy in P1, but we will get to that soon because I want to keep on board with this battle between Gold Gloves and CN Goat. This is it. It goes around the outside. Can CN Goat hold him off? No, those tyres are just simply too good. And CN Goat, in the course of 2 laps, has gone from 2nd position all the way down to 6th, which is a massive disappointment for him. Now he's able to hold off James Cruz heading into the final, as Lunacy crosses the line to finish P1 with the fastest lap, as James Cruz is around. It's an absolute disaster for Merck. No way, he just had to hang on for 1 more corner, or even 2 more corners. He's dropped all the way down to 11th place. Deputy Dildo crosses the line P2. Gold Gloves has made his way all the way up to P3, and with penalties, CN Goat has moved his way up to P4. I don't even know who was off onto the side there, but Power Sight P5, Slickers Bud P6, Pyramids P7, Bill's Battlers has gotten his way up into P8, Combat Wombat 9th, James Cruz 10th, and the standings have gone from me, but the most important thing here, everyone, is the multi has failed. The multi has failed. This is unbelievable. The light spinning out of the top 6 has now meant that the multi has failed, which means that the $8 multi, you are not being paid out. You have lost your money to Bill's Battlers. Unbelievable. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. You can take me now. I have seen it all. Alright, so, recapping. To Lunacy, P1. He had led from the beginning. No one was ever going to catch him. That's completely understandable. He did very, very well. Fastest laps. Walks away with 31 points because of that. Deputy Dilldog, P2. Gold Gloves there in P3. CN Goat, who really probably should have had P2, has fallen all the way down to P4. Power Sight there, P5. Slickers Bud, P6. Pyramids, P7. Bill's Battlers, P8. Combat Wombat, P9. James Cruz there in 10th, and I'll just leave the rest there for you to see, because the important thing to keep in mind is that Delayed has fallen out of the top 6 into 15th, an absolute shocker for him, but have both Alpine drivers taken points? They have! 8th and 9th for Bill's Battlers and Teabag Your Mum respectively. This has been Eltonkie. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. I hope you enjoyed the race. Get onto YouTube, watch the last 10 laps, like, subscribe, sign up for Race Spec Esports, and we'll see you next time.